I'm going to review the lesson that we've been working on this week with our coordinate plane. Remember, on our coordinate plane, we have our x-axis and our y-axis, and these come together to meet at our origin. Now, to plot our points, we use what we call an ordered pair. The ordered pair is the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. These tell you the point that's going to be located on the coordinate plane. So remember, the plane is a flat surface that goes on forever in any direction. We have our horizontal number line, our x-axis, which comes first, and then our y-axis. Now, to get our points that we plot, we use what's called functions. So in functions, these are just a mathematical relationship that's showing you how the output, the y, depends on the input, or the x. So you've probably seen this in the past. The input goes in, we follow a rule, and the output comes out. Let's practice that. So for example here, if we had our rule is x plus 2, we're going to put our input in of 0. 0 plus 2 gives me 2. So my first ordered pair would be 0, 2. This would be what I'm graphing on my coordinate plane. Same goes for the next one. I'm going to put 1. I'm doing 1 plus 2 to get 3. So here's my second set of ordered pairs. I'm going to put 2 in. 2 plus 2 is 4. So my ordered pair is 2, 4. So remember, when we're graphing our points, we always start here at the origin. So my first ordered pair, 1 and negative 4, I'm going to graph it, go over 1, go down 4. Remember, we talked about our quadrants, and we talked about how we could write a giant C over top of it to know where they go. My first one's quadrant 1, quadrant 2, 3, and quadrant 4. So that first point was in quadrant 4. Then I'm going to graph my second one. I'm going to start again at my origin. I'm going to go over 3, down 2, and then my last one, I'm going to start at, again, my origin, go over to 4, down to negative 1. Let me erase that point I made at the origin so we don't get it mixed up. Now I'm going to connect my points to find my line. Not such a good straight line. It's a little harder and explain everything to make a straight line there. And now I need to figure out my rule. What did I do to go from x to y? So I'm going to take a look and see. Did I go up or down? It looks like I went down since I went from a positive to a negative. So let's see, if I did 1 minus 5, that would give me negative 4, but let me try it. What's 3 minus 5? Oh, yep, that's also negative 2. So let's try it again. 4 minus 5. So now my rule, I'm starting with y equals, since that's my output, I'm taking my x and I'm subtracting 5. Here's my function rule that I use to come up with my ordered pairs. So a linear function, this is a very pre-algebra term. It's just a very fancy term for a graph that makes a straight line. The graphs we're going to be doing this year are all straight lines. They're either going to be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. But as you move to higher levels of math, you'll have some curved lines. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure out our rule and graph our ordered pair. So my first one is negative 4, 0. I'm using my numbers here, and I'm going to graph it negative 4, 0. That one I could say is on my x-axis. Then I have negative 2, 2. So I'm going to go over to negative 2, up to 2. And then I have 0, 4. I'm going to stay at 0, go up to 4. Now I'm going to connect them, and I graphed my linear function. I have a straight line. Now I'm going to start my rule. Remember, with my rule, I'm starting with my output. My y is my output. I took my x, my input, and what did I do each time? I did negative 4 plus 4 to get 0. Let me try it for my next one. Negative 2 plus 4. That also gives me to 2. And 0 plus 4. So now I know it works. So I just did y equals x plus 4. Another term you'll hear next year in pre-algebra more is called the slope of a line. So when we're looking at a line here, and we're looking to see, right, is it vertical, horizontal, is it diagonal? We're looking to see what the change is. So to find the slope, it's just how much does it go up? And in math, we call that the rise. It's the ratio of the rise to how much does it go over. We call that the run, or the change in vertical distance to the change in horizontal distance. In math, we use the variable m to represent the slope. Okay, so you're not going to have to calculate the slope this year. We're just going to learn what the word slope means and how we describe the slope of a line. Here are the different types of slopes we can have. If our slope here is going up, we can say it's a positive slope. So we're starting with the negative numbers and we're increasing to the positive. If it's sloping down like this, we say it's a negative slope. Here, if it's a horizontal line, we can describe this as a slope of 0. There is no slope, right? And we can say here, if it's a vertical line, it's undefined. You can think of a slope. We said we use that letter M. You could think of an M like a ski slope. It goes up and down and up and down. Okay, you're not going to have to calculate the slope. You're just going to have to take a look to see, does it look positive, negative, is there no slope, or is it undefined? Now let's take a look at what your math-based questions might look like. So let's take a look at this equation here, right? This may look a little scary, but we're just using what we knew from the last unit on our equations, and you're just going to plug in what they give you for x. So if they give you negative 10, you're going to plug in negative 10 here. So 5 times negative 10 is negative 50. So we would plug that in here to tell us what y equals. So y would be negative 45. So you would then go ahead and start again. Write down your equation just like we did in the last unit when we evaluated our expressions. Now we're evaluating an equation. They're going to tell us what the x equals. So now we put in 5 times negative 5, which gives me negative 25 plus 5. So my y would be negative 20. And then I'm going to do the same for the last two. Write down the equation, plug it in, 5 times 0 plus 5, right? So y would equal 5. And the same for the last one. This question also throws students off on the math space. This one, you just have to read it carefully, right? Because remember, the whole point of using this is to be able to apply it to our graphing. The number of people that logged into a new website over a 24-hour period was recorded every 3 hours, as shown here. How many people logged in 12 hours after the site went live? So here, a number of hours the website went live. So I'm going to take a look at 12, and if I go on up here, I can see, and then I can go across. These are the number of people that logged on to the site. So I can see 972 people logged on. You can go ahead and start on the math space now that you've watched this. We'll continue to review it next week as well. Thank you.